I hope Jonas. I hope he will come this time and talk with us about our relationships. Let's start playing a game. Lou, episode 6, season 2nd. Lou is reprimanded twice and sees the punishment. Let's see. Psy. First declaration. The authority of the public assembly extends to all territories inhabited by the survivors. Unidentified verse. Freedom awaits beyond the door of fear. Last words. Episode 6. Lou insistently repeated. However, let the attackers to patrol squad that day knows this force very well. She narrowed her eyes as a thought that had been spinning in the back of her mind came to the forefront. And on top of that, he knew that patrol squad would be far from their station that day. After all, they were moving towards Paul, Fatih, and the other killers. Nodding, Mark looked at Romain with a vicious gleam in his eyes. Perhaps it's time to talk to Monsieur Vane. They walked up to him. The Inquisitor didn't mince words. What was your patrol doing in the woods the day they disappeared? They were patrolling? That's obvious, isn't it? Luke quietly stood off to the side, trying not to draw attention to herself. They went missing outside of their designated patrol area. Where did you get such information? Has anyone found bodies of footprints? That is none of your business, Monsieur Vane. I repeat. Why were your subordinates patrolling outside their territory? Romain raised his chin defiantly. First of all, with all due respect, Monsieur Inquisitor, I have been in the course for many years, and I have received no complaints. So I ask that you not raise your voice at me. Secondly, I am their commanding officer, and so everything connected to them is actually very much my business. And thirdly, the answer to your question is that I don't know. It was a planned expedition from which they never returned. It has yet to be determined where they disappeared. Following the orders of the prior, we have divided the surrounding forest into zones and are gradually combining through it. Step by step, it takes time. Is that all? That's all. Jean-Pierre sneered. Now listen here. Mark my words. I will get to the bottom of this and learn the truth. And you won't be the only one to answer for it. Everyone at this side will be held accountable. It's like a tremendous hole opened into another dimension. Where did the patrol disappear to? Where were they going? After the trial, everyone will end up in jail. Except you, of course. I will personally ensure that you rot in the deepest mine. What are you? Silence! Here is what's going to happen. We are returning to Lagres. You will call in everyone who is not currently at the checkpoint. Then you will write down every name and list where they were last night before the fire by the hour. Henry was acting? What? The records may have burned, but don't worry, that won't stop me. Get to work and gather secondary documentation, information on who took the time off and when, accruals from payroll, who took sick leaves and when, for any unscheduled days off. Gather requests and statements. Yeah, Henry is a person who is talking about the Bobby all the time. As you wish. Well, on one thing's for sure, Jean-Pierre has an iron fist. A branch snapped nearby and the accompanying soldiers raised their machine guns. The Inquisitor, alarmed, whispered, Farouk? Thanks for follow. It's nothing, we can go. On the way back, everyone was silent. The tension was almost palpable. We are armed, not defenseless, but the locals outnumber us. I hope we won't disappear like that patrol did. The local branch of the corps was small. Since there were no offices that met Jean-Pierre's standards, interrogations would be conducted in the dining hall. Lou looked out the window as she waited. Farouk was walking around outside. Their second guard was on duty near the door. Our guys aren't leaving anything to chance. She was surprised by her own thoughts. Our guys? They became ours very quickly. Mine and Jean-Pierre's. I guess the world became theirs and ours when we almost lost our lives in that fire. When there is danger around, anyone who doesn't pose a threat is on your side, at least for a short while. Even if you can't stand each other in normal situations. The brain has an interesting way of spinning things when shit gets scary. Jean-Pierre is a real jerk, no matter how you look at it. But right now, I trust him more than any of the locals. You were tough on Romain back there in the woods. What if he's not to blame? Have you considered a different approach? How? What if he's not to blame? Are you upset from the way we met? Lou, as usual, chose to answer directly. Oh, control again. I'm not collecting control. Yeah. I'm not upset. That's for friends and family. Angry? Sure. But I want to understand. The man chuckled. It's very simple. Mademoiselle Reed, you can't escape the human element. Imagine living in a laboratory. For a while, it would be possible to maintain a sterile environment. But gradually, dirt builds up, especially if there are a lot of inhabitants there. Violations and lawbreakers are like dirt. Order lines and regulations help to maintain order. However, sometimes a deep cleaning or a demonstration of proper cleaning is necessary. The perimeter is a subject of special importance. Of course, we know what flora and fauna surround us. We're exploring the environment. But what if a free-roaming patrol ran into an unknown, fast-acting disease? We wouldn't even be able to locate the point of origin. We had neutralized it, find effective medicine, and gradually discover the source. But just think of how much manpower we had lose in the process of achieving that result. And the commander in charge of the site didn't hear or see anything. It's one thing to overlook petty misbehavior while keeping tabs on it and remaining in control. But it's a whole other story to let the situation get out of hand. He let things get out of hand, and as you know, he hid the details. The patrol went further than the area being searched. The commander as the first to blame. Working as the prior's personal guard, you will hear many stories of negligence or stupidity. Behind every story lies someone's alive and nuanced circumstances. You may even be able to empathize with some criminals. However, you surely know that I am right. By taking the oath, you choose your side, the side of humanity. You don't risk that over here doubts about fairness. There was a knock at the door. Come in. RSTJ, initiate with their assistance corps. Did you call for me? Sit down. Aristide took a seat at the table opposite the Inquisitor. How long have you been a guard of the perimeter? From the very moment I was accepted into the AC, the 2 years now. How often do patrols go outside of the designated control area? What? Well, they don't never. Why? Jean-Pierre slammed his fist on the table so hard that Lou flinched. Don't lie. Monsieur, I don't understand what you mean. It's the same every time. Dramatically sighing, he leaned towards Artiside. You don't want to die in the prison, do you? Come on, spill everything you know, and quickly. If you were following orders, you won't stand trial. If you don't help me, I won't help you. You will be kicked out of the AC, obviously, but you're a young guy. You have got your entire life ahead of you. What did your colleagues drag you into that you are trying to help them cover up? Mark tapped the folder on the table with his index finger. He's very good guy, working very good. Some have already started talking. He's lying. It's just a question of who will cooperate and go through this case as a witness and who will be charged. He was persuasive. Lou wouldn't believe him if she didn't know for sure that there were no confessions in the folder. However, Artiside shook his head. Monsieur Inquisitor, I know nothing of the sort. I have no idea what they are talking about. The Inquisitor pursed his lips and exhaled as if disappointed. As you wish. Remind me, do you have a wife, children? Yes. Pauline and a son, Robert. Are they here? Family is good. Let's ask them too. What if they remember something? Your wife is young and pretty, isn't she? Mark, you are a bastard. I will let you listen, and maybe you can watch how they interrogate her. Don't, I get it. I tried once and I didn't like it, but some of them do. What exactly didn't you like? What are you talking about? Hunting. It's boring here. We are in the middle of nowhere. There is nothing to do. And the wilderness is right there, adrenaline and all that. Who exactly was involved? Everyone tried it. Did the missing patrol hunt too? I don't know for sure. They might have. It was a scheduled expedition. But that's how they usually do it. They go far to hunt. Mark chuckled and looked at Lou. She decided to get a question in. Monsieur Jill, who knows the forest well? What were they shooting with? Bullets are always accounted for. Who else knew about hunting? What did they do? Who knows the forest well? Aslan? Chaplain too. They're experienced. But Monsieur Vane is of course the most knowledgeable. What were they shooting with? Bullets are always accounted for. There is a certain amount allotted for every patrol to scale of animals. And with the training, you should fire 5 and write of 10 in the report. Farouk looked it in on them. Monsieur Jean-Pierre, we have got a situation. What? The rest of the soldiers you summoned have gathered. They are waiting outside. Let them wait. What's the problem? Their commander didn't even look out of his office. We tried knocking. Silence. It looks like he locked himself in. I don't need this right now. He barked at the soldier who was mid-interrogation. "Stay where you are." Mark went out into the hallway. Lou followed him. Mark said under his breath, "Farouk, you go outside, watch the others, and don't let anyone into the building without my order." "Got it." Jean-Sieur ordered the second guard to stay in the dining hall and keep an eye on Aristide. Then he quickly walked deeper into the building and pounded on the office door with his fist. "Monsieur Vane, open up. Immediately. This is an order from an inquisitor of the Church of the United One. Do as I say." There was no answer. "Damn, I'll have to break down the door." Not waiting to waste time, Lou suggested, "Can I try?" She stood in front of the door. It crunched. The door began bending inward as the lock and hinges made a terrible grinding sound. Lou pushed harder. The door arced and cracks rang along its edges. Finally, it tumbled into the office and slammed loudly on the floor. The frame had been heavier than it looked. "Great!" "What the?" A disturbing scene opened up before them, and the smell of human waste struck her nose. Romain was sitting in a chair with his head thrown back. His bulging eyes stared, glassy and empty, at the ceiling. His twisted mouth was frozen in a silent scream. White foam covered his lips, and his fingers clutched the armrests. There was no blood, but this death looked much worse than any Lou had seen lately. "Damn it! Reed, don't touch anything!" A phone and a small box with a touch-sensitive lock on its lid sat on the desk in front of the commander. Mark walked around the office, assessing their surroundings. Then, thoughtfully, he said, "But since you're here..." "Yes, you can help if you're up for it. We need to check his pockets and search the cabinet and desk." Lou glanced at the corpse in disgust. "Or go and tell Farouk what happened, but quietly, without letting the rest know. He'll report what's going on outside." "I'll take Romain." "I assume you don't have your own gloves. Take out one of mine. Don't touch anything with your bare hands." "Not so much." Slightly surprised, Lou noted her to herself. "They're not vinyl." "Thank you." Mark nodded. Maybe it's all he had. Strange though, it's warm outside. Oh, it doesn't matter. The Inquisitor turned Vian's computer towards himself. Lou approached the chair. "Why do you stink so much? I shouldn't have gone outside." "I think we can check everything. Let's check it." The shelves were heaped with maps on the surrounding area and a set regulation for guarding the perimeter. She riffled through printouts of incomprehensible schedules and pay slips. There were glasses inside. One wasn't washed. There was also a symbol of the church. On the inner wall, "Monsieur, there is a safe. It's open." "Is it empty?" "No, there is some kind of folder." What's in it?" Lou put the documents on the desk and carefully flipped through them. "Ammunition records, that's all." "Okay, let's take them with us." Jean-Sieur took a pair of headphones from his inner pocket and stared intently at the screen. Seems there was a video recording of the office. "Look at the desk." Trying not to touch the corpse, Lou inspected the drawers one by one. "Don't people even know when they commit suicide?" Can I say that word on Twitch? Oh my god. Maybe not always. Or maybe this wasn't always night. In addition to old, crumpled notes scribbled with mundane messages like sent the report by the 20th and a grocery list, she found a bottle. Lou unscrewed the cork and sniffed. Alcohol. The good kind, apparently. There's nothing else. Check Vian's pocket. Trying not to look at the commander's pallid, distorted face, Lou struggled with the rising nausea as she checked his clothes. A key card, most likely for the office. A pair of keys to his house, perhaps. Interesting. Did you find something? A second phone, an expensive one. Personal phone and a work phone, or is this a burner? After a while, Mark took off his headphones and pointed at the computer. Interesting. There is a surveillance system in the office. Before his death, Van turned it off. Or rather, he thought he turned it off. The truth is that it isn't so easy to do that in our offices. The recording continued, and as Inquisitor, I have access to it. Will you show me? He turned the screen to face her. Be my guest. Lou pressed play. Vian locked the office, went to the cabinet, and opened the door. Guys, are you not sleeping? We almost here, guys. I hope we will. He took a phone out of the safe, the same one that was not lying on the table. The number he wanted to call was already registered on speed dial. The commander pressed the call button.
Come on, you imbecile, pick up the phone, pick up the phone. Hello, it's me. We have got problems. Yes, I won't take the fall for everything. You said to call and an Inquisitor showed up. Yes, Monk here, with some young woman. I tried, I started the fire. They didn't die. The lady is telekinetic. What? Lou Reed, do you know what Jon Snow is known for? He's already asking about the mission patrol.
Guys, write something in the chat. I feel lonely. Romain clenched his fist suddenly and shook his hand.
Damn it, he's already been in the forest, and now he has started interrogating my people. Yes, he has an iron fist. He's checking the schedules, vacations, and days off. In half an hour, he will know everything. Even an idiot would figure out that I set up the ambush. The rest is just details. A day or two and I'll crack. I'll tell them everything about how I prepared for the assassination attempts and recruited the perpetrators.
It's not a full hour, Andres. I don't know what's that, but not a full hour.
But I don't want to be hanged. I'll tell them who ordered this. Do you understand? Get me out of this. Stop trying to calm me down and do something. Use your connections. Tell me what I should do. What? You should have told me that from the start. 1 second.
He looked inside the safe again and took out the box, setting it on the table.
Why didn't you tell me right away? You're fucking paranoid. How much is there? That won't be enough. I'll need more money. What's the combination? 3674.
The commander entered the code of the sensor and the lid slid smoothly to the side.
What the heck?
The phone fell on the table. Romain twitched and convulsed, abruptly collapsing into his chair. His back arched as his fingers scrabbled, grabbing the armrests and digging into them. His lips were soon covered in foam. He threw his head back. Then Romain went limp, quiet and frozen in the very good position in which he had been found. Damn. Lou looked at the box. There were some springs, a few gears, a microchip, and a battery under the lid, and a small pinky-sized silver can with a spray nozzle. Probably some form of gas. Someone left Romain an emergency phone in a box without telling him what was in it. And as soon as there was a threat that he would expose the truth, they told him to open it, eliminating the only person who could reveal the actual organizer behind this operation. It looks like it, Reed. It sure looks like that. Now what? The local AC staff systematically violated several regulations. That falls within the scope of criminal behavior. They will be prosecuted. However, we won't announce this to them now. It might provoke foolishness, some form of resistance. I started to smile when I'm thinking about Jonas. Where is Jonas? I need Jonas. The monsieurs are armed after all. Even insurrection breaks out, everyone will be sentenced to death. But we won't be alive to care about it at that point. The likelihood of such disobedience is a minuscule, but deliberately neglecting our safety isn't wise. Let's call for the reinforcements. A forensics team can check Van's office at home. We will also need replacement officers to guard the perimeter. We will wait to them first, then we will return to New Paris. He took out his phone. Marc Jonsier, badge number. After reporting the situation to the city authorities and requesting reinforcements, the Inquisitor turned to Lou again. Let's go to the dining hall. It will be a long wait, so we can continue our conversation with Artistide J. About the others. Who will deal with their hunting activities? Who will deal with their hunting activities? The Inquisitor in charge of interrogations in La Grasse, of course. I will be continuing my investigation into the attempts on Monsieur Martin's life. And what's in store for them? An impressive sentence in a correctional facility with heavy labor, at the very least. Or execution? For some, no doubt. The clenched knuckles of his fingers had turned white. These imbeciles were hunting for the gun of it. They didn't care that it might hurt others. Sending everyone to the gallows would set a great example for the rest. A deep cleaving is the only way, right? The Inquisitor either didn't notice Lou's sarcasm as she turned his own words back on him, or he deliberately ignored it. Only the fear of death can call people to order. Lou was smoking by the idling car, glancing at Jonsier. He was giving his last orders to the soldiers remaining in La Grasse. She could hear instructions for maintaining the strictest security around the perimeter under threat of a life sentence for every last of them. Do you lose sleep if you don't threaten enough people in a day? Judith came out of the AC building. She was struggling to carry several potted plants, and her eyes fell on Lou. Mademoiselle. Hello? Oh, she put one of the plants on the ground. Here, I took this. I used to keep them there to brighten things up. Now we will have new bosses. Who knows if they will approve? The psionic cast a sympathetic look at the burned house. And where are you going? They promised to help with repairs. In the meantime, my daughter is here. I'll stay with her. She has a husband and children. Their place is small, and I'll get in their way, of course. She smiled. Especially with my plans. The woman looked at Lou as she had been struck by a brilliant idea. Would you take one? Thanks for saving me. There is no need, really. Take it, please. Lou tried to refuse the unexpected gift. Yeah, I'm hardly ever at home. I will forget to water it. It will die. But it was impossible to argue with Judith. She somehow managed to offload two of the pots into Lou's hands. Don't worry, they don't need much. They are hardly, especially bred hybrids. They have been watered with tea, sweet coffee, cigarettes, ages, and nothing happened to them. The only important thing is that you don't put them in bright sunlight. For saving my life, take them. Lou heard Farouk's stifled laugh from the car. The officer was clearly amused by the interaction, deciding that it was better to settle for one than to be forced to bring two plants home. Lou sighed. Thank you, I'll take this one. It's so green, I like it. You don't even have to water it. I hope it won't eat me while I'm sleeping and take over my home. Thank you, mademoiselle. If it wasn't you. Come on, really, it was nothing. When Judith walked away, Farouk got out of the car. He complimented the plant, barely hiding his amusement. It's beautiful, so green. Do you like it? Take it. Oh no, I couldn't separate a hero from their reward. The inquisitor who had just approached looked from them to the plant in Lou's hands. Without acknowledging it further, he said, No woman, no kids. That's the rules, Matilda. Do you understood, guys, a joke? It's from Leon. Do you watch Leon? No woman, no kids. Like Leon, it's like a story about the killer. And Matilda, it's like a girl. And he said his rules as a killer: don't kill women and kids, only guys. No women, no kids. And with that, because Matilda remember, Matilda was with a big plant. Do you remember this scene from Leon? Matilda was with a big plant. Okay, and with that, backed by Farouk's slaughter, the Inquisitor got into the backseat. Finally, damned retro movie buffs. Jonas, please. They arrived back in the city early in the morning. Lou had to write a report for the prior and immediately or John Steers' insistence. Yeah, this is the reference. Then, without giving them even a moment to breathe, Martin called them both in. There is an option to get all three outfits. Nice. Lou barely had time to wash up and change into fresh clothes. This one is nice. No. Yes. Then she hurried to the meeting with her superiors. After listening to Joncieur's report, the prior spoke in an icy tone. Unacceptable. You can hardly call yourself employees of the church. You are more like hooligans disrupting the peace of old woman. Though that woman had been feeding the officers there for decades. She has an award from Inquisition. Mark looked down in shame. Lou frowned. Monsieur Prior, permission to ask a question? I'm listening. How are we responsible for that? The head of the Inquisition maintained a strict, unflinching, and authoritative expression. That house burned down on the day you arrived, Lou. Feeling that she was toying the line of what she was allowed to say, Lou responded. But we didn't burn it. You allowed it. He looked at Monsieur. You didn't anticipate it. You endangered yourself, your subordinate, and a civilian. There are only victims and no results. Eva turned his gaze back to Lou. Very unacceptable. Martin's voice was stern. When I entrusted this task to my employees, I expected exceptional professionalism. Wait, Morris. This is just half of the episode. I hope this time we will see Jonas. I hope. Prudent behavior, tactical and well thought our actions, accountability, and a high level of productivity, not confusion and haphazard decisions. I'd rather you yell than scold us like this. I apologize, Monsieur Prior. I bear sole responsibility for what happened. Mademoiselle Reed had nothing to do with it. She was very helpful even when we examined the body. And earlier it just affected your relationship with Eva. That's admirable. But did she not go there? She volunteered, so she is responsible. Neither of you will be receiving bonuses. Mark, write an analysis of your mistakes and how you can prevent them in the future. Yes, Monsieur Prior. You are dismissed. Get to work. When Jonsier left the office, the Prior looked at Lou and his gaze softened. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. So am I. You probably want to rest. The boost of energy she had gained from her short nap during the ride back was waning. Lou said honestly. That would be nice. May I ask you a question? Of course. The surveillance system in the commander's office at La Grasse remained vain. Thought he turned it off, but the recording continued anyway. What about my home? You are the Prior's personal guard. It's a completely different level of security, secrecy, and confidentiality. Just like Boretti said, your system turns off, Lou. Entirely. And no one will gain access to its records without my personal approval. Great. Daniel wasn't there, but Hector was sitting on the couch. From the look on his face, Luke could tell that the head of the security had been waiting for her, and that he wasn't about to say anything good. Crap. Hello, Reed. Lou smiled politely. Good afternoon. I want to discuss something with you. Barretti's insinuating, delicate tone only confirmed Lou's sense of bye-bye for Yes. It's about the reception at Sardus. You did a great job and deserve plenty of credits for your work. But amid the gunfire, the guests heard your crude language. She remembered the adrenaline coursing through her veins as her life hung by a thread, the deafening burst self-machine gun fire, the pain tearing her shoulders. In her head, Lou slowly counted to 5 before answering her boss. Guilty as charged. Circumstances forced me to speak as briefly and directly as possible. Still, if something like that happens again, you not one forbid, make an effort to find language more suitable for high society. I thought that the speed and precision of my actions were more important than my choices of words. If I had spent time choosing my words, the prior would have been shot, which would have resulted in plenty of crude language from me. And it wouldn't been directed at each of his guards personally. I understand. However, your language is making appearance in witness statements. Hello, welcome. Keep that in mind from now on, please. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dark Sinner 2TR. Happy birthday to you. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ashkum. And while we are on the subject of rapidly exchanging information, there are special gestures that would suffice. Learn them, they will be useful. Understood, Monsieur Baretti? You can't use crude language in polite society, just crude gestures. Морс, ты видишь, что он выглядит как Юлик? Помнишь такого стримера и блогера? Он вообще как Юлик выглядит, ты видишь? Sorry, I understood you really. Okay, you're free to go. Lou was walking to the staff room to pick up her bag when Hector called out to her. Oh, and read. Monsieur. Stop by accounting to pick up your paycheck. Lou rubbed her tired eyes. This plant, should I wrapped it in a bag or something? There was a knock on the door. Yes? Hello. How are you? I'm happy to see him, by the way, really. Fine. Any news? Maybe you should get some sleep first. I don't think so. My nap on the day here threw me off. All I can think about is the case. Kay looked up at the ceiling for a moment, then suggested, shall we go for a walk? I have a couple of hours to spare. Fucking surveillance systems. Of course, I need to buy a new phone. You had a much more exciting time, so maybe you should go first. Lou didn't argue. She began to describe the trip to La Grace. After listening to everyone she had to say, Kay said regretfully, yes, it wouldn't have been helpful to be able to interrogate that commander. Lou nodded in agreement. Okay, anything else about the case? The phone he used was sent for analysis. The device in the box was handmade. It's unlikely they will find the bodies of the patrol squad. Monsieur. My English is not so good to make that decision, guys. The phone he used was sent for analysis. The device on the box was handmade. The device in the box was handmade, I want to say. I don't know why. The examiners reported that to us during their initial inspections. The components and other details of the mechanism tell us nothing. It couldn't have been assembled at any electronics shop intermediary. An analysis of any gas left in the can will be done here in New Paris, but I doubt that it will provide much of a lead. Considering the rigor that has gone into every aspect of this business, I'm inclined to agree. I can't say everything. It's unlikely they will find the bodies of the patrol squad. Have you ever been beyond the perimeter? A couple of times when I used to be a guard, but not to the forest. It's like in the movies, there is brush all around and holes in the ground. You could be 10 steps away from a corpse and never notice it. Also, there are animals. It's beautiful and creepy at the same time, but in a good way. The phone he used was sent for analysis. The technicians at the scene gave us some preliminary results. One call was made. It wasn't clear to whom. It was redirected multiple times. They will try to figure it out, but we shouldn't count on that. Lou paused to think. I think that was everything important. Things here have been much less interesting. Marc Jonsier comes from a pure family, respectable but nothing more. He began his service without any useful connections. His notable career is thanks to his passion and investigative talents. Those who know him to characterize him as thought, meticulous, and absolutely devoted to both service and the prior himself. The territory under his control has the lowest crime rate of those under the church's jurisdiction. Mind you, this isn't about closed cases, though the numbers are good there too. I'm talking exclusively about the number of crimes. They happen very rarely on his turf. Despite the fact that not everyone approves his methods, he is highly respected by his colleagues. He has received several awards and has been noticed by the vicar for his merits. His closeness with the prior is easily explained. They were well acquainted even before Martin took charge of the Inquisition. Really? They were friends? Martin was commanding officer. He left Jonsier in charge in his place. They have worked together for a long time. To put it simply, from a psychological standpoint, little has changed in their relationship. To achieve his goals, Jonsier uses any means necessary, but he is never used to his position for personal gain. At the beginning of his career, he was almost charged for abusing his authority a couple of times. Recently, he has become less extreme. Martin keeps him in check. So the prior has known Jonsier for a long time. Now it's clear why he was instructed to conduct the case. Martin trusts him. And any kids? Why? His wife? Letizia is his wife. She's pure, thanks to partner control. Her mother and father are unstable. They are not wealthy, but they nonetheless. From a very young age, she participated in all manner of social events, competitions, and development programs. As a result, she entered the church's most prestigious school. Back then, Cardinal Jean-Francois was overseeing the educational institution. Wow. Apparently, he still pays special attention to education. Well, that makes sense. Letizia received an excellent education. Thanks to that and outstanding extracurriculars, she entered high society easily. So she and her husband have a lot in common. They both paved their own way. I wouldn't discount the role of her parents. They knocked on every door, trying to push their daughter up the ladder with all their might. What are they doing now? 5 years ago, her mother failed a genetics test. She died. Her father couldn't bear the loss and he drank himself to death. Shit. No amount of money or influence can change your genes. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe we will stop talking and go to Jonas. Mark got a high status, beautiful, devoted wife, and Letizia got a promising, headstrong inquisitor husband. According to society, their marriage is a happy one. Neither of them have been caught in an affair, and there aren't even the slightest hints of infidelity. Mark and Letizia are an exemplary couple, although without children. I hope the tough and meticulous inquisitor will have more success figuring out who Vian called than he is had producing children. Because I have no idea whatsoever who Romain called. Don't be upset. If he doesn't figure it out, we might come up with something. The important thing is that Martin doesn't get killed before that happens. Yes. Has he been tight-lipped with you too? Did he say anything else? Kay shook his head. Bastard. Hey, you're talking about the prior. Lou forced a rare smile and mumbled. Yes, that's the point. Blitz. Wait, Andreas, we are waiting for you now so much. The psionics approached the open display window of an electronics store. There were a number of products shoppers preferred looking at under the light of the sun. Jonas, I'm tired. Where are you, really? How long will you? These things could be found for much cheaper intermediaries, certainly. But there, one always ran the risk of buying a stolen device or one with faulty software. In which case Lou would have to waste time figuring it out and getting a replacement that might have similar issues. Jonas is a real hard nut to crack, already more than half in the whole story. But the slow burn makes it so much more worth when the magic starts to happen. True. That's why Lou chose to make her purchase in the center. Never in my life it was so hard, really, to get someone to... Everything with a screen was categorized by its glass or holographic display. Jonas is such a... How long should I wait for him? The first category of gadgets were the legacy of pre-storm devices. They displayed images on glass screens with adjustable transparency. Devices from the second category were much more compact and projected images right into the air. Cheaper holograms were used for advertisements, informational displays, and decorations around the city. The images they created were three-dimensional, but they flickered, could be seen through, and didn't resemble reality in any way. The most advanced technologies, on the other hand, created very convincing illusions, and they cost a lot of money. The TV in Ivo's apartment, which looked like a window directly into the forest, probably cost as much as Lou's home. Lou? Huh? Are you still here? Sorry, my phone was old. It's not much of a loss. Now I'm thinking about which one to buy. Holographics are expensive, but they are pretty fancy. And with my salary, I'm also want to buy a phone, Lou. We are so the same here. It's down to what you like. The glass displays are more comfortable to hold and touch. Holographics are more durable. Holographic glass. Of course, we will buy the best one, guys. Of course. What are you talking about? I should keep up with the latest technologies so that I'm comfortable with them. Especially if I can afford it. Hell, it's just beautiful too. Beautiful, yes. Lou transferred her number to the new device, horrified by thoughts of how many subscriptions she had to confirm and all the profiles that now needed syncing. Likely picking up on Lou's train of thought as she sadly started at her new phone, Kay nodded sympathetically. Sympathetically, of course. Then Stone returned to his duties at Lou, and Lou went home. There was no good news. I know. Working with the evidence left after roommate Via's death yielded nothing. These champs confirmed that the patrol commander, with the addition of a beard and mustache, was the Pole character who organized the assassination attempt. Fuck. Lou and Kay thought about what to do next. Joncier was organizing reports, documentation, expert opinions, and so on. For a couple of days, it was as if events had come to stand still, frozen. Why are we still at work? Then Waze broke some news to the psionics, but there was nothing good about this either.
Fatigue Deschamps will be executed tomorrow. Monsieur Martin will be present. You both will be too.
Understood, thank you, Daniel. An execution? The prior doesn't have to enter execution, does he? Isn't she rushing things a bit? Lou smiled mischievously. There is still a long way to go before the investigation is completed. Ask him yourself. Do you want his number? I have it, thanks. He wants to demonstrate that criminals will receive swift, merciless punishment. Besides, Deschamps already told us everything he knew. He wants to show people. Will the execution be public? Yes. That's disregarding the cameras and ongoing recording that Hector might see. Lou finished her sentence colorfully. Fucking great. It was morning and Lou was ready, or at least she hoped she was. I knew what I was signing up for. I knew. It's going to be fine. Damn it. After straightening her uniform, she looked in the mirror again. Such a great hair, you... Oh my god. Amazing. Amazing hair, really. Wow. Why they are making so bad everything? Okay, wear this shit. Why I bought that shit, guys? Who made it? I thought it's not for free. I should buy something for free, not that shit. Okay, where's this shit? Then she put on some glasses and left the house. Kay looked around, watching the gathered attendees with a keen eye. He occasionally covered his eyes instead, switching his focus from side to side. Lou noticed bulging veins along the empath's temple. Too much information. Is he reading a lot of people at once? It seems hard for him. I wonder what that feels like. Really, it's interesting. Lou felt useless. There were hundreds of windows around. If a sniper was lurking behind of them, how would her telekinesis help? I will just have to do what I can. Taking a cue from her partner, Lou began to study the crowd. We will not sleep with Jonas this episode, guys, as you can see. There were officers on each roof. No, instead of Jonas, guys, we will look how this guy will... There were officers on each roof stationed by Baretti. The hope was that they could support Kay's work and maybe that of other empaths present and notice in time if something was wrong. I'm tired, but I want to read that. Jonas, finally, where are you? So we give up on Jonas and bring some random guy? No! Jonas. Evil Martin stood on the raised platform ahead of them, calm up and upright. The Briar looked at the gallows prepared nearby with a cold, emotionless expression. Conversation from the gathered citizen drifted up from below.
When will they bring him? When will they bring him in? How long do we have to wait?
Our whole department was ordered to be here. They listed us by name under an official signature. At the very least, they could give us a day off for this. The AC officers ignored the whisperers. Their orders were clear: to provide a cordon and assure the safety of the clergy. The commander...
Maybe.
Will you wait for a week, guys, or we will play one more episode? Right. The commander, an experienced officer with thick gray hair, warned everyone in advance that the consul's supporters might arrange protests. But that didn't happen. Police were present, but they stood at a distance behind the crowd. Apparently, they were only going to intervene as a last resort. Lou didn't like what was happening. She felt uneasy, not so much because she was about to witness an execution, but because of the practiced routine and indifference. Maybe something is wrong with us. We don't lose our appetites and continue eating our sandwiches when we hear that someone died in an accident or shot a neighbor. We can't stand waiting for a criminal to be hanged because we are eager to hurry to a sale at a store around the corner. Yeah, that's sad. Lou angrily asked herself, am I really one to judge? Am I not the same? Well, not to that extent. Where is the line? Right or wrong, it's normal. Then why do I feel so disgusted? That's how it is. You stand up for a psionic and you end up on the gallows. If it had been better if they had killed that underage bastard. So many of us normal people have gotten hurt because of him. The crowd began to buzz as the convict appeared before them. He was slowly led to the gallows, then his handcuffs were removed. Deschamps looked at his feet, not resisting. Did they jab you with something? No. You have just accepted the inevitable. While the noose was fastened around the convict's neck, an emotionless voice listened his crimes over the loudspeakers for the inhabitants of New Paris to hear. Then a prize prayed briefly for the genetic security of the survivor and united people. Drearily, Evil said, "Your last words, Monsieur Fatigue Deschamps." Damn you all. A thought flashed through Lou's head. It seems like we have been damned for a long time already. And then she didn't watch as the hatch opened under Deschamps' feet. As the man's legs jerked in a final spasm, as they swayed in the light breeze, the crunch of his broken neck was more than enough to shift her focus to the one single, mundane thought. Oh, I hope I don't throw up. Evo seemed indifferent. He had probably seen this dozens of times. Kay was busy studying the crowd, ready to repel any attack. Among the different people, their fear, disgust, anger, and sympathy, all of it seemed to be coming together in something not unlike interest, or a kind of unity. But Luke could only see those who stood closest to the gallows, and perhaps she was only imagining it.
What are you doing with me? What are you doing?
Baby, I want already something. You don't give it to me. What the fuck? What the fuck?